We intercepted her 600 meters from the Munyonyo Basilica, and that was the ultimate target. If she had managed to infiltrate through, I think we would be talking about a different story now. But we engaged them, and ultimately her explosive she was wearing or carrying in the backpack went off, and the rider also died. The suicide bomber is, and by the way, all these preliminary findings and strongly so point to ADF operatives. This lady, the suicide bomber, has been in our custody before. In 2023, I think it was October, and we interrogated her because she had links to ADF. She was known as Aisha Katushabe, also known as Biarohanga Sumaya, also known as Kabonesa, in her 20s. Intelligence findings show that her husband called Muzaffar was killed by our counterterrorism forces in 2021. He was among the group who wanted to bomb the funeral and mourners of the late Deputy Inspector General of Police, Paulo Kechi. That time we arrested some suspects and some were killed. We also know that she was a daughter to Abdul Shakur. Abdul Shakur is the suicide bomber who blew himself at the Central Police Station in Kampala in 2021. The other incident was, I think, along Parliamentary Avenue. So these are strong links to ADF, which we knew about. And in relation to today's event, intelligence was aware that the ADF was planning to attack worshippers and pilgrims on this day. In fact, 2 days ago, we arrested a suspect who is in custody right now, and he gave us very useful information. We found him with the laptops and several rounds of ammunition, and the interrogations are still taking place. So we had strong links, and our people on the ground today, we are very vigilant and aware, and we congratulate all the security forces today who are in the field, the UPDF, the Uganda Police Force, and the intelligence services, for preventing a catastrophe. We could have been talking about many people dead and injured today, and the entire city would have been in panic and confusion. So briefly, that's about the event today, but I think the important message is that we have, again, the security forces delivered a successful Martyrs' Day celebrations, and thanks to them, nobody has died, nobody is injured, although there were attempts to do so by some clearly very negative forces in the outside. Any questions?
Yes. About the rider?
Oh, yes. The investigations are still going on, but from what we have gathered, the motorcycle is registered in the names of Musana Yusuf. We are yet to establish whether the rider was Musana Yusuf or somebody else, and what links they have or they could have with the the terrorist who was riding on the motorcycle. So we will dig deeper into this and we'll definitely find out.
Are there more sleeper cells of Eggye? And what are you telling the public? If this person was so close to the target?
We have been saying this already in the past. We live in a very volatile Great Lakes region. We know that Eastern Congo is a hotbed of many violent armed groups, including the Allied Democratic Forces, which has conducted attacks against Ugandans for many years now, most recently in 2021. And we have always been appealing to the general public to be vigilant, report any suspicious individuals or objects or activities to the security forces so that intervention measures are undertaken in time. And we thank Ugandans that for the most part, Ugandans have been very cooperative with security, and working together with the security services, we have been able to prevent disaster. Otherwise, we could easily have another July 2010 bombings here. But the members of the security forces working with the people who are very vigilant indeed have prevented many of these from happening. We also have the Al-Shabaab situation. It seems far away in Somalia, but actually it is not, because Al-Shabaab comes as close as the northeastern frontier of the Kenya-Somalia border. There is a very big population of Somalis in Kenya and increasingly even in Uganda, so they can always infiltrate. Our borders are porous, so the key is to ensure that we are constantly vigilant. Everyone, the wananchi and the security services. And that's how we'll be able to prevent disaster from striking our people, like it is happening in some places.
You said you once arrested the suicide bomber. So you released her under which ground?
We didn't have sufficient evidence. And by the way, this should also tell you that the security services in Uganda and the justice system generally tries to be fair and considerate, although many people tend to think otherwise. If we don't have concrete evidence about you, we might be suspicious, but if we don't have evidence, then we will be compelled to release you. Because to take someone to court means you must have gathered your evidence and that person will be prosecuted successfully. So there are definitely some gaps in what we had and we let her go. But today, we have been vindicated that actually she was indeed a terrorist, even when we arrested her back then. But if you are a criminal, you can last so much. Eventually, the law catches up with you, and your bad deeds catch up with you, and she has perished today. Thankfully, without injuring any other bystanders or worshippers or pilgrims.
My interest is knowing the real profile of this lady beyond the names. So where has she been living? Who are they? Her other networks so far? How broad are you going to really bring others that have been cooperating with in this scheme?
We have a big picture of ADF terrorist networks in this country, but I think it would be inadvisable for me to go into too much details, because otherwise the sleeper cells will become aware and they can slip away or change tactics or change strategy or change location and so on. But we know, I've already told you that her two closest associates. There's a problem. I'm in darkness.
No.
Once we have sound.
No, for you, for others.
So we already know that her two closest associates, her father blew himself up at CPS in it. I think it was August 2021 or thereabout. And her husband was also killed by our own forces in 20.
The husband is who?
Her husband was a terrorist called Muzaffar. Muzaffaru, just a moment. Muzaffaru. I have one name, Muzaffaru. Her husband was Abdul Shakur, the suicide bomber who detonated himself at CPS.
That is the father.
Yes, the father is Abdul Shakur. She was a daughter to Abdul Shakur, a suicide bomber who detonated himself at CPS. That was 2021. Her husband, one Muzaffaru, was also killed by our security forces in 2021. He was part of the group who tried to attack Munas who had converged at the send-off of the late Deputy Inspector General of Police, Lieutenant General Paulo Kechi. So you can see she has very strong links to ADF networks. We know there is a lot more operatives out there. That's why we are calling for enhanced vigilance by members of the public. If they see anything, if they hear anything, if they see objects they don't understand, they should report them to the security services. And by the way, they have been doing that. I think you've covered many reports before of bombs we have recovered in different places in Kampala here after tip-off from members of the public. So we are very grateful, and we look forward to this enhanced and close working relationship with the members of the public.
Maybe I would like to ask, because you've talked about the people who are still at Namgongo, those are the pilgrims, because we normally know that they don't always leave that place like immediately, because even you will find others tomorrow. What is your message to them? Because they will be scared about the bomb which has happened right now. What is your message to them? Are you still providing security? What is your message?
Absolutely. We will not leave our positions until the last pilgrim has departed. This is our modus operandi. Every year. Today is the D-Day, Matters Day. But there are events before, during, and after. You've seen many pilgrims have been arriving in Namgongo by foot, escorted by police and the UPDF. So we take care of the pilgrims while they travel to the holy sites, during and after. Many are leaving today, but not all of them will be able to depart. So our security posture will remain the same until everybody has departed back to their destination. We are always the last to leave Namgongo after everything has been cleared.
In the video, we see the bike exploding. We are wondering how the officers swat the side turrets, swat them and hit them without necessarily fearing that in case the explosion takes place, they will also be included and die. Then there is also picture saturating of the suspect. We don't know whether you can avail us with a photo to help us identify so that you don't use the wrong picture. Since you are there being with her.
Apparently, to add on that, we have had some eyewitnesses saying that these two people actually reached church, but because of the heavy security, they failed to go in, so they were leaving. That's when the bomb exploded. Then earlier had said that actually it's the police, the military that shot at them and it exploded.
So, what I am telling you is the verified state of events this morning. They attempted to infiltrate, and we intercepted them and engaged them. She wouldn't have blown herself in a generally harmless area. If you know how terrorists work, if one could even get here, they will be happy because they know they can die with a reasonable number. But we prevented that. We engaged the duo precipitating the explosion, which everyone heard and which almost caused some panic. But the situation was immediately contained, calm was restored, and the mass at that basilica, 600 meters away, proceeded uninterrupted. He has talked about, actually I have some two pictures of that lady. Maybe I will share them with some of you. You can, but she's dead. So, pardon?
All of us, not some of us.
You will share amongst yourselves. So, she's dead, but we know there are other accomplices out there, and if people have information, we are happy if they share it with us, because they are certainly not the last ADF terrorists we are going to deal with here. And I will share with you the picture.
Okay, two questions from me. With all these happenings, how safe are Ugandans? That's one. Secondly, there is also some information we received yesterday of UPDF soldiers attempting to attack a police station. Are you aware of this and how you handle it?
The first question about the safety of Ugandans. I think the Uganda People's Defense Forces and the security services generally, the Uganda Police Force and the intelligence services, I think we have demonstrated for a long time our strong capabilities in terms of securing the people of Uganda and their property, from border to border, east to west, north to south, and northeast to southwest, northwest to southeast. Uganda is relatively secure. You couldn't say the same about southern Sudan, and we went there to support the government of South Sudan. You couldn't certainly say the same about DRC. So, and in my earlier statement, I alluded to the fact that Uganda is located in a very volatile Great Lakes region. But the fact that our people are living peacefully overall and are going about their normal activities, I think is commendable. The same way we have secured the Ugandans for the last 40 years is the same way we are going to continue to work, but even better, because our capabilities are getting better. Human resource capabilities in terms of training, in terms of equipment, in terms of modern intelligence gathering capabilities, in terms of building reliable allies, in terms of deepening our collaboration with the Wananchi. Everything is going very well, and I think Ugandans have no cause to worry. All they need is to continue to work with us very closely, and we will prevent most of these bad things from happening.
Sorry.
Second question. The second question.
Just about the exclusive. I'd like to know when the
I'm
exclusive.
complimenting on his question.
And relate.
Since you are here on behalf of UPDF, I would like Mr. Colonel Mages to help us understand whether there is a good working relationship between UPDF and Uganda Police Force. Having witnessed on several occasions, police officers being undermined by the soldiers, right from the woman, the sergeant, now assistant inspector of police, Namaganda, who was slapped by the high-ranking officer, Matarika Gwanda. And up to now, she has not gained any justice. We see the incident of Lugoa, the attack on police. We see now another police officer of Wakiso who claims they wanted even to impress her because they told her her uniform did not matter, given that she was not serving the interest of the soldiers. Kindly clarify on that matter.
So, there is no question whatsoever that the security forces of Uganda, the Uganda People's Defense Forces and the Uganda Police Force and the intelligence services have a very close and robust working relationship. There is absolutely no doubt about that, and it is solid, and it is producing results. Peace. Today is a demonstration. I already pointed out that UPDF, our counterterrorism units, the Uganda Police Force, the intelligence services have all been in the field working together and coordinating very closely. That's why we have a successful event like that one, and many others we have pulled off together. So, at a broader strategic level, our working relationship is solid and intact. For your information, we have an interagency security committee that meets regularly to harmonize issues of security in the country. The interagency security committee is chaired by the Chief of Defense Forces, but it includes the Uganda Police Force, it includes the Uganda Prison Services, it includes the intelligence services, internal security organization, external security organization, even civilian bodies, by the way, like the Uganda Communications Commission, National Identification and Registration Authority, NIRA. We have Financial Intelligence Authority. It is a big body, and we meet and compare notes on a very regular basis. So that's one. The few incidents which have happened are really at a tactical level, where elements of UPDF and elements of police clash in their course of duties. And I think it is not abnormal actually. Even in families, siblings fight. But when they fight, the father or the parents have an obligation to call them together and harmonize their differences. So these misunderstandings at lower levels cannot be used to say that there is a breakup in the working relationship. Far from it. So those incidents you mentioned, Luboa, were reviewed and actions were taken. The incident in Wakiso yesterday involved another force, the Land Protection Unit led by Brigadier Luchamuzi. I'm told it is a land wrangle in Wakiso involving two brothers, two capable brothers who have been leveraging their networks. One allied to the police, and then the other one trying to use the group of Kyamuzi. Even this is being handled and will be addressed. So these small issues cannot distract us from the big picture. There might be cases of indiscipline as well, but I think UPDF also has a very strong track record in terms of instilling discipline in our own who err. If you make a mistake in UPDF, you are sure you will be punished 100%. Actually, it is the nullification, almost nullification of the court martial that had worried some of us, because then we were no longer able to, or we are no longer going to be able to punish our own decisively. But we thank the people of Uganda, through their representative in Parliament, who restored the law, and our discipline will continue as it has always been. Firm but fair. That's how UPDF has been able to maintain discipline. And by the way, our discipline, you can look around the whole of Africa, around the world, even including the people we admire most, the United States, the British and others. I think you've heard what they did in Iraq, what they did in Afghanistan and other areas. You have, I'm sure you have not heard about the same. You've been in Somalia now for 18 years. You've not had things even close by our soldiers. So discipline, combat discipline, very, very important in our life. My Uganda is shaky. Pardon? So leero lubadde lunaku lwa Uganda Matters nga bwe lubeera buli mwaka. Bantu babadde bangi nnyo mu bitundu ebyokusaba ebyanjawulo, Namugongo mba Katoliki, Namugongo mba Anglikani ne Munyonyo Basilica. Ebyokwerinda bigenze maaso bulungi, era twebaza ab'ebyokwerinda abatuukiriza omulimu omulungi okulaba nti abantu bangi mu bungi bazze ne basaba ne bakola emikolo gyabwe, era we twogerera emikolo egy'okusaba giwedde. Abantu batandise okugenda waka ne gye baava abalala awala nnyo, naye ffe ab'ebyokwerinda tugenda kusigala nga tukuuma ebitundu byonna kulaba nti paka omuntu asembayo naye azeeyo ewaka yonna gy'avudde n'atuuka mu mirembe. Tubadde tukola patrols si ku sites ezo zokka, naye mu nguudo. Bw'aba waliwo abatambula kiro, ndowooza mubadde mubiraba. Tukuuma ddembe si kw'abantu abasaba, naye n'ababulijjo abatambula mu mirimu gyabwe n'ebirala, bonna tubeera tubakuuma. Era kino tukyebaliza Katonda n'ab'okwerinda nti byonna bigenze bulungi. Naye lwakuba leero ku makya ssaawa nga 2:00 wabaddewo ekitiisa, naye nga twebaza Katonda nti tewali abalumiziddwa okuggyako abatuju, omu omusajja omu omukyala, nga bagezaako okutuukirira Basilica ey'e Munyonyo. Abantu era nabo badde basabira, naye abokwerinda basobodde okubayimiriza ne babengeejinga era bomu emu nebaluka nebatirawo naye nga bokka bebafudde. Ebyokunoonyereza ku bantu bano bigenda mu maaso naye nga obukakafu bwe tulina omu ku batuju omukyala alina amanya ga njawulo, Aisha Katushabe, oluusi yeeyita Byaruhanga Sumaya, oluusi yeeyita Kabonesa. Twali tumukutteko mu mwezi gwa October 2023 nga tumuteebereza kubeera mu by'obutuju naye nitumumala nitumuta n'agenda. Naye leero kitulaze nti omuntu twalina mutuufu mutujju. Tugenza okuzuula baawe ayitwa Muzaffar, yali omu ku abo be twakwata era n'amala n'attibwa ababyokwerinda mu 2021 abagezaako okulumba abaali bakungubagira omugenzi waffe yali Deputy Inspector General of Police Lieutenant General Paulo Kechi. Era ne tuddamu ne tukizuula nti baawe ayitwa Abdul Shakur y'omu ku batujju abeetulisa ku Central Police Station e Kampala mu 2021. So ne kituwa nti information gye tulina ebadde nungi ddala. Naku 2 mabega twabadde twakuteko omuntu era nga tumuteebeza okubeera mutujju era mutujju wa ADF atuwadde information nungi era ku information gye yatuwa yatuyambye nnyo okulaba nti tutaasa abantu leero lwakuba twamukwata naku 2 mabega n'atuwa information nungi nitutegeera bikyebadde bebagezaako okukola. Era abatujju bagenza okujja kulumba basirika emunyonyo nga tuli beetegefu bulungi naye nga nkubiriza bannayuganda bonna tusigale nga tukolera wamu. Bw'oba olabye omuntu gw'oteetegeera bulungi gw'otategeera bulungi oba ebintu oba ebikolwa jangu otubuulire tusobole okulaba nti tukakanya embeera abantu baffe basigale nga bali mu ddembe. Era twebaza bannayuganda lwakuba emyaka gino gyonna muvudde mabega nga mulaba nti babadde batuwa information era bomu nyingi tugenze nga tuzuula mu bitundu byanjawulo mu Kampala. So enkolagana eyo nungi era tusaba egende mu maaso. Ebyokwerinda byaffe ffenna si ffe abambala uniform naye buli omu kimukwatako kulaba nti tusigala mu mbeera enkakamu lwakuba Uganda tuli mu kitundu kya Africa ekitalina mirembe kutwaliza wamu. Bw'olaba ng'engulu ku South Sudan oba eno mu Western front ya DRC waliyo groups nyingi era nga ezimu ku ezo z'abatujju. Ffe tukwatako ye ADF naye waliyo n'endala. Waliyo Al-Shabaab baali batukubyeko wano 2010 kwegamba tulina okusigala nga tuli ku bunkenke ffenna kulaba nti ebikolwa bwe bityo tebiddamu kutuuka ku bantu baffe kulaba mbu eddembe ligenda maaso bulungi neyanziza. So omu ku baafudde abatujju emunyonyo leero epiki tugizudde ng'eri mu manya ga ayitwa Musana Yusuf naye tetunategeera oba Musana Yusuf y'abadde avuga n'afa oba muntu mulala. Tukyagenda maaso na kunoonyereza era tugenda kunoonyereza tulabe nti bw'aba tabadde mutujju nanyini piki oba agivuga enkolagana yaabwe ebadde etya n'abatuju nga ba Updf bamanyiganye batya. So ebyokunoonyereza bikyagenda mu maaso era tukubiriza abantu bw'oba olinako kyolabye oba kyowulidde jangu tutemyeko tusobole genda maaso n'okunyweza ebyokwerinda. Enkola yaffe nga babyokwerinda tetukuuma abantu ku lunaku luno olwaleero olunaku lwe tuyita didde main event naye nga babaddewo pre abantu bazze nga batambula kumalanga kumpi mwezi bavudde mu bitundu byonna bya Uganda abalala bavudde ne Kenya, Congo, Rwanda, Burundi. So tuze tubaaniriza nga bebyokwerinda era nga tubawerekera paka gye balaga enamugongo. Omukolo bwe guggwa abalala bagenda naye tebagendera wamu bonna. Ffe tusigala nga tuli bulindaala mu byokwerinda paka omuntu asembayo ng'agenze. Ffe abasembayo okuva mu nnyonyo. So kino era tukisiimira buli omu nti paka ku ssaawa eno bintu bitambudde bulungi naye nga tulina essuubi nti bijja kuggwa bulungi. Tewali kyamaanyi ky'okweraliikiriza. Ebyokwerinda byonna gyebiri, pozisioni zaffe tukyalimu, tukuuma ababadde basaba n'aba bulijjo. So tewali ntiisatiisa, abantu babeere bakakkamu naye nga bali alert, nga bali nga balaba batunula bawulira baba balinako kitiisa nga otubuulira then ffe ne tujja ne tulaba kiki kyokola.
Obadde wagambye that you had put out of action the terrorist attacks. Do you want to withdraw those statements and say there was an expression?
Absolutely not. We put them out of action. It was not their choice to detonate from that position. Their choice was to infiltrate a mass gathering and explode and kill and injure as many as possible. We intercepted and engaged them. And our actions, actually some bullets were discharged. Our actions caused the explosive to go off. You understand what I'm saying? Our actions caused the explosion to go off. It was not voluntary. The process of challenging is it is a process. Verbal, who are you? Can you identify yourself? What are you carrying? If someone is not cooperative, then you can engage and discharge. And that is as far as we went. And the explosive went off. Sometimes these terrorists prefer to die instead of being captured. So I cannot for certain conclude that our bullets caused the explosion or the terrorist in a desperate moment detonated the explosive. But they were certainly engaged and challenged and the explosive went off. So in that case, we put them out of action, and that is good news because we prevented the loss of life. It would be a different story right now, and thankfully it hasn't.
Afande nga tunabagenda kukyaba amagezi okutuminyula mu Uganda
ekiriwa
mwaba abakubi babanga kubanga nekirala
abantu bakiri mubanyonyole
balina mukatono natwagala tubanyonyole bulungi mwami anatole babadde atuminyula tugambye nti mwabalungi mwabakubye nga tebanaba kwekuba
mwami yani
nga tebanaba kwetulisa kakati tunyonyole bulungi mwaba engagings mwayogedde nabo mwabakubye masasi ne bafiirawo ate bo mu basiridde batya kitwagala okumanya awo kibatawo wakati awo kunkulu nga
ndowooza nkinyonyodde mu luzungu ekibaddewo ku makya leero ekisookera ddala kye nabagambye twali twakwata omuntu nnaku 2 mabega terrorist n'atuwa information plans zino zibadde ziriwo ez'okukuba abagenda okusaba oba abali mu kusaba so ebyokwerinda bibadde gulugulu mu bitundu byonna ate ojja kusanga nti oba neena mugongo wabaddeyo abalala ababadde baagala bakole ki batuukeyo naye lwabyokwerinda ne babivaako ekyo nakyo kiri kisoboka tukyagenda maaso nakunoonyereza kiki ekyabaddewo naye namugongo abatujju twabakubye nga wabulayo mita nga 6 zokka 600 meters kutuuka munyonye basirika nga wabulayo mita 6 kutuuka ku kyaki so lwakuba abantu baffe babadde bamanyi ekiyinza okubaawo ne babayimiriza ne babengeejinga naye so mukubabuuza mu luzungu tukiyita challenge mwe baani mulagawa musitudde ki bintu bwe bityo naye nga tebasobola kubiddamu abasirikale baffe ne babatunuzaamu emundu era nga waliwo yakubye n'amasasi naye mu kaseera akatono ako ebomu neebaluka nayo kati si kikulu nti oba esasi ly'omusirikale lyatulisiza ebomu oba suicide bomba yalabye nga diira efudde n'asalamu n'akola ki nayeetulisa ekikulu kiri nti ab'ebyokwerinda baataasizza ababadde basaba singa babadde basobodde kubatuukirira twandibadde mu maziga sawa zino era tukisiimira Katonda nti tetutuuse ku leve eyo
kati afande katononyo wakati awo kubanga ndaba nga mwoyogerera ka distance k'abasirikale bamu n'abantu abo tubadde kumbi bo tebakoseddwa kibomo temulina bakoseddwa
tewali akoseddwa w'ebyokwerinda oba aba bulijjo era ekyo nakyo kirungi lwakuba omuntu gyaba ayagala kugwa n'abangi oba kulaba atuusiza abangi ku bisago ku kyamagye ne poliisi enkolagana yaffe n'ab'ebyokwerinda abalala mu ggwanga y'amaanyi nnyo emirimu gino tetugikola ffekka nga UPDF ate ne Uganda Police sobola kugikola yokka tukolera wamu ab'ebyokwerinda bonna awali UPDF awali Uganda Police Force awali Uganda Prison Service awali aba intelligence tulina bbiri internal security organization ne external security organization tulina n'abalala tulina akakiiko ke bayita inter-agency security committee meeting tutuula buli kiseera kulaba nti ebyokwerinda binyezedda bulungi era nga walimu n'abalala abatula ku kakiiko ako nga Uganda Communications Commission nga National Identification and Registration Authority NIRA nga Financial Intelligence Authority n'abalala kulaba nti enkolagana yaffe esigala nga nnungi. Naye bino byemuwulira oluusi wabeerawo entakolagana ennungi wansi, abasirikale aba UPDF n'abasirikale ba poliisi ne balema okukolagana bulungi. Ekyo kibanga omuzadde abaana be balwana naye nga si kirungi ng'olina ate kuddamu obagati, naye tekiraga nti famire ekutuse, nedda. Enkolagana yaffe kyali nungi. Ensonga ezize zibaawo ezo kati ng'eya Lubowa oba yajjo Wakiso, abakulembeze b'ebitongole bino ebyamagye ebya poliisi bamala ne batuula wamu ne balaba ensobi yavuddewa era ne bakola appropriate measures kulaba mbu tekiddamu. Bw'abeeranga omusirikale yakoze ensobi, ffe UPDF tubonaabonereza abasirikale baffe abamenya amateeka oba abalemererwa kubeera ne discipline. Era kasita tufunayo evidence nti omusirikale ayina ebintu byakoze bya kikyamu, tusobola kubakwata ne tubateeka mu mbuga z'amateeka. Era UPDF discipline yaffe mugimanyi nti yawaggulu nnyo. So ezo ensonga ezize zibaawo tuli mu kuzeetegereza n'eyajjo, tugenda kulaba obuzibu bwavuddewa era tujja kuteekako kulaba nti embeera etereera tusikale nga tukolagana bulungi mu maaso eyo, era ezo ensonga tujagenda nga tuzinonola kulaba mbu tezidda mu maaso eyo. Your people. Are you merciless like this?
No, but Swahili you understand.
Which Kiswahili?
You can just do three, just something.
Can I stretch a leg? Yeah. Oh.
There's also a video explanation one.
So whom can I send those pictures?
Some of us were not in that black.
Actually, then we send it to the other. He will get them to
Whom can I send it to?
Send to
Deborah.
On the back, you send the book. On the
Maybe send me a hi.
Deborah.